So, welcome to another cinemacon video. This is the last one about Disney Panel. Um, the studio might be looking a little different. I'm tinkering with like the camera and stuff. I got these headphones, which have a better mic than my last headphones. And they just make my videos a lot easier to edit and film and stuff. So I'm sorry if there's any mic issues. If it's like unwatchably bad, I'll do something to fix it. But for now, this is what I'm using. And I'll stop moving around so much so it sounds not terrible. So they started off the panel. So they, I don't know why my camera randomly started recording. I think my phone's haunted. So they started the panel with showing some more footage of Lilo and Stitch, but we already kind of had that footage, so it's pointless. Basically, it was just Stitch with like a soda gun, and he sprays Lilo with it, but we already have access to that footage. Why am I reporting on this? They showed the trailer for Freakier Friday, which we already had, so okay. They showed some stuff for Tron Ares, which actually wasn't released to the public. The description was like, I haven't seen either of the Tron movies, but it's like, they escape the Tron world or something, and then they're in the real world with the light cycle. I know what a light cycle is. There's a bunch of red lighting. What's Bro's favorite color? Turns out I forgot to mention this, but also there was a scene of a light cycle cutting a car in half. And the soundtrack is, quote, ripping. It's being done by 9 Inch Nails. The last movie had a soundtrack of Daft Punk. So I wonder if any of the music from this movie is making it onto my playlist. I'm just now discovering stuff about this mic system, so, I'm gonna be messing with this for a while. Next, they talked about Predator Badlands, and I'm very confused. Who is this movie following? Because in the little speech the guy on stage was saying, I don't know who it is, but he was saying, what if the Predator was a good guy? And then it also mentions another planet where somebody is exiled from their clan and they have to prove themselves, working their way back on top of the food chain. So, is this movie gonna be about the predators on the Predator planet? I'm curious to see how that will turn out. It could be really good or really bad. Who knows? I recorded this like 7 times. My dog's on camera, so I can't mess this up because I want him in the footage. But basically they talked a bit about Thunderbolts. And they showed a little featurette, which is like the behind the scenes footage. It's available online, but it's not anything huge. The complete opposite, Fantastic Four. They showed a new trailer. I sneezed. They showed a trailer, but they haven't released it to the public. Some people are saying they're gonna release it today because it's 4/4 day, but it's getting late, guys. Please reveal it soon or don't reveal it at all. But basically, it just tells us that Sue Storm is going to be a mom. And this is actually pretty huge because it tells us that Franklin Richards is coming, and he'll probably be essential to Doomsday and Secret Wars. The description of the footage is we see the 4 of them on a talk show. It shows that they're celebrities now. They've been around for a bit. And Then, if you remember in the first trailer where Reed was saying, "I make it a point to have family dinner every Sunday at 7 o'clock on the dot." Well, they arrived late, but to make up for it, they announced that Sue was pregnant, and then Johnny congratulates her. I have to see Joseph Quinn as Human Torch, but I just saw the movie Novocaine pretty recently, and I think what I'm drawing a blank on his name. Jack Quaid would be a great Human Torch. But that's off topic. Uh, Johnny says to Sue, "You're gonna be a great mom," and then Reed says, and he says to Reed, "And you have some things to work on." It's a joke. I can already see it. It's gonna be exactly how it is in my mind, because that's how every Marvel movie is. It's good to know it'll be just like all the rest. I'm not trying to be a hater right now. It's just it's too easy. Then we see the Julia Gardner Silver Surfer. She's the female Silver Surfer. Because Norrin Rad is not in this movie, and he's the Silver Surfer everybody knows. It's not this version of the Silver Surfer. It's a different universe where Silver Surfer is a woman. Which really makes me wonder if they're going to have the male Silver Surfer it be in the MCU like he was there the whole time. I don't know. But basically, she warns them that Galactus is coming and they have to prepare. So a civilian asks Reed if they're gonna be okay, and he says, "I don't know." So it ain't looking too good for their universe, which would explain how they get to the MCU 616 universe. It's a pretty common theory, but I'll just say it anyway. I think the way this all works is because in the first Fantastic Four trailer, he's scribbling on a chalkboard, or he's doing his scientific research, and it looks like he drew a picture of a wormhole with the text "Another Universe" next to it. So I think he's going to somehow use like wormholes to figure out multiverse travel. My dog is going ballistic. Now that I've moved to a room with a door, so he's gonna create wormholes to travel the multiverse to escape from Galactus. Their world is gonna get destroyed, and they'll end up in the MCU. Then Doctor Doom's gonna create Battle World. Maybe Secret Wars will end with a new universe being merged together, where we have the best things from every universe, and we toss the bad things from every universe. That's my theory. I think it's pretty likely. They have described the Silver Surfer as straight out of this comic panel. Very comic accurate, which, if so, most anticipated movie of the year. I'll take 10 tickets. I'll buy an action figure. It's a joke, you guys. It's a joke. As far as Doomsday goes, they just confirmed that the chair live stream that was 5 hours long isn't even the full cast. It'd be so funny if they did that again. Another 5 hours of just more names. Just... and maybe they would do it on a weekend so I could, like, catch it, and I'd be like, come on. Ooh, the chair's... It's moving. Oh, it's Tom Holland. That's great. Kevin Feige said, I think he was there. That's surprising. He just said that Avengers Doomsday will be a team-up of the Avengers and the Fantastic Four and the Wakandans, but he also said specifically the original X-Men, which implies that the X-Men cast members that were announced are actually the original X-Men. And this is very confusing. Because, so you might think, hey, isn't like Professor X and Scott Summers dead because they got killed in The Last Stand? Well, no, because in Days of Future Past, they were brought back to life using time travel. But to make it more complicated, they had to write it in that just a few years later, they all get murdered again. In Logan. So, and then in Deadpool and Wolverine, they decided to make it even more complicated, but that is an entire can of worms that I am not touching. So, let's just say, for the sake of this, they went back to a time that's after 2014, but before 2029. Sorry, I gotta remember that the stop recording button is not the middle button, but the two side buttons. They then talked about the animation stuff real quickly. Oh god, I get like stuff in my eyes. I think I'm coming down with a cold or something. They talked about Elio, which is the upcoming Pixar movie. They didn't really, reveal that much. They didn't even reveal the trailer they showed to the public. But they showed some new footage, and it's hard to say, because the animation looks both bad and really good at the same time. Because they do the modern Pixar thing that every Pixar movie does now, where they have characters with, like, bean mouths. Like, if you look at a bunch of recent Pixar movies that aren't, like, the big ones, like Inside Out or Toy Story, they have, like their original stuff, they just have beans for mouths. But also, like, the beautiful lights and colors, it looks great at the same time. I really expected them to talk about more, because they have so many announced things that they haven't talked about since. But they did mention Zootopia 2. I know it's not Pixar, this is Disney. Hoppers and Elio and all that stuff is Pixar. Zootopia is a Disney. And what's the difference? There is no difference. They're both 3D animation. It's the exact same. But they did give a brief plot synopsis that Judy Hopps and Nick Wilde, I would be amazed if those were the actual character names and I got them right without fact-checking that. They work together with a snake character who got into some legal trouble, and they discriminate against snakes, and snakes aren't even allowed into Zootopia, and like reptiles and stuff. Like snakes and reptiles aren't allowed into Zootopia because something really bad happened years ago. I think this could be good, but I'm really scared that it's just going to be a formulaic same thing again, where it's, look at these animals, it's beautifully animated. They're being discriminated against. Don't be racist, kids. Give us $1 billion. Because you know this movie's gonna be like a slam dunk smash hit. It's gonna be like Shaq when he dunked the basketball and he shattered the backboard. Imagine it flops, and I was that adamant that it's gonna make money. Imagine it flops. That'd be so funny. Wait, did I say it in the last clip that they ended out their panel with Avatar? Well, they ended out their panel with Avatar. They talked about the third movie, Fire and Ash. They talked about how they're going to introduce two new tribes, the Ash tribe and the Air tribe. Air traders, I think they're called. They're a peaceful, nomadic tribe that trades and they live in the sky. And then there's the Fire tribe. That's an interesting and really cool concept. I'm excited to see it. Are you excited to see it? Because that's it for the CinemaCon 2025. I was going to say Disney panel, but that's it for CinemaCon 2025. Overall, they did reveal some cool stuff like Universal and Disney, but I think the winner of this week is definitely Sony, because they dropped both the Beyond the Spider-Verse release date and the Spider-Man 4 title, Brand New Day. I can't wait for that. But that's gotta be it for today's video, and I'll see you guys in the next one.